Hello and welcome to HD Racing. Do you miss an easy way to evaluate your lap times and pace on the different tracks on ACC? You want to easily see on which tracks you are good and where you still need to practice and improve? Well, I was in the same situation and decided to build this spreadsheet. In this video, I will show you where you can find the spreadsheet and how you can use it for yourself. Don't worry. While your lap times are always compared to the fastest lap times of pro drivers, everyone can adjust their goals on the spreadsheet to their particular skill level. So whether you are a really fast driver or just a beginner in sim racing, you can always get some valuable information out of this. So let's get started. I've already put in my lap times, so what can you see here? Let me point you to this section of the sheet. Here you can see color-coded on which tracks I am already quite experienced and on which tracks I definitely still need to put in some practice time. So, tracks that are colored in purple, like Monza here, I am doing way above average for my particular skill level. Keep in mind, I am not the fastest driver at all. I'm fairly new to sim racing and ACC, so my times are not nearly towards the top where the pro drivers are. But that doesn't matter. I can see here that Monza I'm doing way above average for my skill level. Same goes for the teal color, teal, which is here Barcelona and Paul Ricard. Those tracks I am doing definitely above average, not as good as on Monza, which is colored in purple, but at least above average for my skill level, so I probably shouldn't focus on these tracks as well. Tracks that are colored in green, which are most of the tracks on this list, I am at a lap time where I feel like this is my baseline. This is where I want to be at for all of my tracks, so that I'm basically about average for my particular skill level. Tracks that are colored in yellow, like Misano here, those are the tracks where I feel like I am doing okay, but I still can put some more time into the track to get a little bit better, to get it to this green baseline that I just talked about. Tracks that are colored in red are tracks that I've either don't have a good lap time yet because I haven't driven them a lot, or that tracks that, like Indianapolis here, that I haven't driven at all yet. So that is the gist of things. You have an easy color-coded way of looking at the track list of ACC, and you can easily evaluate on which tracks you are already doing fine or even better than fine, and where you can still put in some practice time to improve on the track and to get it on the same level as all of your other tracks. So, how can you use this sheet for yourself? Well, I've linked the sheet in the description below, and if you click on that, you will actually see an empty version of the sheet, and it will look something like this. What you will need to do to use it, you will have to go to File and click on Make a Copy. That will make sure that you will put the sheet in your own Google Drive folder so that you can actually work on it. So I will do this now and click on Make a Copy. Now the sheet is in my own Google Drive and I can put in values for my hot laps and other stuff as well. So let me show you how that would work. Let's say on Brands Hatch, I'm doing a time of 1:24.111. You need to make sure to put in the time in the correct format, which is also seen in the comment up above here. So, because of how Google Sheets work, I will need to put in hours as well. So, because normally a lap won't take hours, you will have to start most likely with 00 for the hours, then put a colon, and then add the minutes next. So as I said, 1 minute, and then another colon, and then the seconds. In this case, I said 24 seconds. And then you put the decimal point, or if your country uses something else, like a comma, you put that. That will depend on the location that you've set in your Google Sheet settings. For me, it's a decimal point. And I'm going to add 111 and press Enter. That will now instantly color these cells in green, telling me that I'm doing fine here. So how is all this calculated? For that, let's take a look at the columns in front. You can see here the quali record says it's from the track records table. So let's take a look at that down here. You can see here I've put every track that is in ACC, and I've taken all the quali times that I could find from LFM and from AOR. I've also done a little bit of calculations to see how different they are, but in the end I've just taken the best time of both, and that is the goal. That is the best time. That is what we are striving for. But of course, we are not as fast as the guys that set these times, most likely. And because of that, we are setting ourselves goals. And we are setting, as I said in the beginning, one that is purple, one teal, one green, and one yellow. And these are based on percentages on how much slower these times are than the track record. So in this example, you can see here, it says that the purple time needs 102%, which is basically what this is, the quali record multiplied by 102%, so 2% slower. That is the time that is the purple goal. Same goes for teal and for green and yellow, which is 102.5, 103 and 103.5%. These are the values that dictate how your times are evaluated in the end. And you can set these on the right side here in the thresholds part. So you can see here that I've set for myself the goals of 102, 102.5, 103, 103.5% for the different colors respectively. But as I said in the beginning, you can adjust these thresholds, these goals, for your particular skill level. So let me give you an example. I've prepared this table with lap times that are more akin to someone who is a little bit newer to sim racing maybe. You can see most of the times that are put in are colored in red, and only 2 are colored in yellow. So this just would tell you, well, you are way too slow on every track. This is not what we want from this. So I can adjust the thresholds on the right here. So let me put in some different values. For example, in this case, let's say 103%, 103.5, 104, and 104.5. Now, the goal times that you see in the front here have changed and are reflecting the new thresholds that I set. And all the colors also have changed. And you can see that in this case, again, most of the tracks are green. And this is basically what you want. If you're fairly confident that you have practiced most of the tracks and are fairly confident on them, you're maybe a little bit better on some and probably a little bit worse on others, you can now see that reflected in this color coding that you can see here. Let me give you another example. I've prepared another table, and in this case I've put in times that are way faster than times that I can do, but that is probably more akin to a driver that is way more experienced and has put in quite a lot of time and is fairly decent or like good on most of the tracks. But in this case, a lot of the tracks you can see here are color coded in purple, so this really doesn't give you much information now. So let's also change this, and in this case let's adjust the thresholds a little bit differently, and let's say for the first one I'm gonna set it to 100.75, and for the next one let's set 101% and 101.25 and 101.5. So I've set the thresholds a little bit closer to each other because as an experienced driver, you probably don't have that big of a margin that newer drivers might have. But as you can see, the colors are adjusted again, and I have set myself a little bit more of a goal, or at least faster of a goal, but I can still see on which tracks I'm doing well and on which tracks I maybe need to put in some more time. For another feature of this sheet, let's go back to the first table I've showed you. And maybe you are saying, well, hot lap times don't mean as much. You need to be consistent. Well, I've also put in something for that. And you can find that in the bottom here in the hot stint table. Let's click on that. What this does is give you an indication of how consistent you are. For that, you will need to do a hot stint in-game. You can set that in the same way where you can set what kind of session you are doing. So you're not doing a hot lap, but instead a hot stint. That will give you a certain amount of time where you will need to put in as many laps as you can and be as fast and consistent as you can. You will then, at the end of this session, see how many laps you did and put that in here. And you will need to put in your hot stint time next to that. The sheet will then automatically calculate your average lap time and put it in the cell next to it. And now this average lap time, which you have set in your hot stint, will be evaluated instead. And as you can see, I already did quite a few hot stints, not on every track yet, but I'm trying to get there. And I'm having the times evaluated on the same principle. But in this case, of course, because I will never do a consistent run that is always as fast as my hot lap times, so the thresholds that I've set myself here are different. They are higher. So I'm not setting myself the same goal for consistency, but still I want to evaluate myself on that. And this is what the hot stint table is for. So again, put in the laps, put in the hot stint time, and adjust your thresholds as needed so that you will have an accurate representation on how consistent you are on a track. You can see again, a lot of tracks here are green for me, which is basically the goal that I set myself. And if I'm doing better, like on Monza again, I will have that in a different color. And on other tracks, like for example Donington, I am doing okay on my hot lap, that was green, but here in the hot stint, I am not consistent enough, so this is still yellow. So this is something that I want to work on. So that is everything that I've got to show for now. I hope I could show you why I made this sheet, what it is used for, and how you can use it and adjust it for yourself. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me in the comment section down below, and also give me feedback on what you think of this. Is it something that you think it will be helpful to you? Or do you say, well, that is not really something I would use ever? Let me know. But I really hope you did get something out of this and I was able to explain it well enough. And if you're interested, you can also take a look on my channel. I'm doing more ACC content there, races on LFM and other stuff in the future. So if you're interested, please take a look, and I will say thank you for watching, and I hopefully see you in the next one.